Hi everyone, welcome to our Python crash course. In this episode, we will download and install the Python. We will download the Python latest version, which is 3.12.2. We will install its executable file, and then we will install the IDE, which is PyCharm. After that, we will install the Git. First, we will go to python.org. From there, we will download the latest version of Python. Download the executable file and install its path to that folder. Once the installation process is completed, then we will verify if it is correctly installed or not. We will go to the command prompt, type cmd and open the command prompt. Here we will type python -version and we have found that we have correctly installed the Python. Go to Python shell and write some mathematical expression like 2 plus 55 equals to 57. It verifies that Python is correctly installed. Now we will go to Google and we will type PyCharm because we need an IDE as well. We will install the community edition of PyCharm. This is the professional one. And here we have community edition. We'll download this. Once the download process is completed, then we will install the PyCharm. Click next and add path to the folder. Check PyCharm Community Edition. Click next and install the PyCharm. Once the PyCharm is installed, we will reboot our PC so that PyCharm may work properly. So after the installation process is complete, we will restart our PC. Check the reboot now and finished. Now we have restarted our PC. Go to PyCharm Community Edition, open it and go to the file. Select new project, give name to your new project, for example hello world. This is our new project. We will select the PyCharm 3.12.0 and select the new window. Once this process is complete, we will get an error. So we can see that the Python installation has failed. We have already installed Python, but the interpreter path is not properly selected here. So we will go to the setting. And from here we will go to the project Python. So we will select from here project Python project 3 and click the Python interpreter. Here you can see that no interpreter has found. Click on add interpreter and here you have to verify the path, or you can just copy and paste the path. Now the path has been verified. Now click on next and on the lower bottom you will see the installation has started. Once this installation process is completed, then we will deal with the next error, which is git initialization failed. Cannot run git. No such file git.exe found. Here you can see this error. To resolve this error, we will go to the Google and we will install the Git. So download Git for the Windows. I have 64-bit Windows, so I will download it 64-bit Git for Windows setup. Once the executable file is downloaded, we will install it. Click on next and create a shortcut on the desktop. Once this process is completed, we will go and we will open the PyCharm again. So click on PyCharm Community Edition. Now we will open a new project here. Go to File and select the new project. Give name to your project. I will give the name to my project as Hello and create the project. Once the project is open, we will create a new file, and we will give name to that file as demo.py. So this is a new file. Here we will write the code. So we will add this file to the project and we will start writing the code. So we will just write print hello world to see that whether our PyCharm is working properly or not. Right click on this option and click the run demo, and you can see that output has been generated. So our Python has successfully installed. Thank you. Hello everyone, in this lecture I will teach you about the Python built-in function, that is print function. It is used to display strings and characters on an output device, as well as it can show text and special characters. And the content of variables such as list or arrays can be displayed. Additionally, it can display the strings and numbers together. The syntax is quite simple. Just type the function name, which is print in this case, followed by parentheses. In this parenthesis, we have to put our input argument. The input argument in this case is a string of characters. Whenever we have to display the string of characters, we will have to put them within a single quotation. Within the quotation, we will write the complete text that we want to display as an output. So we will write this text within this single quotation, and then we will execute our code, and you can see that output has been displayed. Additionally, we can also print some special characters. We just have to write print. Within the parenthesis, we have to put a single quotation, and within the single quotation, we can write whatever special character we want to display. We can display it in any orientation, like the first line of code will be displayed first, and then the text, and then the third line of code, as you can see here. I can also add special character along with text. So you can see as an output. So we can display any shape by using the special characters. Moreover, I can use a shortcut to display a character for multiple times. For example, I have to display this steric by 10 times. Then I will just write steric 10 outside the quotation. And you can see that this steric mark has been displayed by 10 times. So the expression within these parentheses make it easy for us to print a special characters or a character for multiple times. In Python, we can also print a tuplet, list, or an array. For example, we have a tuplet x which stores two elements. The first element is apple and the second element is banana. And we want to print this tuplet. So we will just write the function name, which is print, and in the parentheses we will write the variable name, which is x. So you can see as an output the apple and banana has been displayed. I'm going to add a comment right here. I'm going to write print strings, variables, arrays, and list. Whenever you write a comment, you have to put a hash sign before it so that this line of code may not execute, and the compiler skip this line of code during execution process. Sometime during coding, we have to print numbers with string. So for that, I'm going to write a comment here, print number with string, and then I will write print. So this is our function. Within the parentheses, I will write first the string. The string will be written within the quotation. So I am going to write my height is, then I am going to put a colon. After that, I am going to add a plus sign, and within the str, which is another function, I am going to write a number. In case if I have to add some more text after this numeric value, then I will write again the plus sign, and within a single quotation I will add some more text. The syntax is quite simple. Encapsulate the string converter in the plus sign, and the desired output would be displayed, as you can see here. That's all. Thank you for your time. Then we will put an equal sign, and then we will write the value of the variable. So we have allocated a memory within our computer which will store a number 5, and the label of that memory is num1. So this is an integer. We can also create a variable which will store a floating point number or a decimal number. For example, I am writing num2. This is another variable, and I am going to assign value 10.4 to this variable. In a similar way, if I have to create a variable that stores string, I will write the name of the variable, then an equal sign, and then I will write the string. I can change the name of the variable whatever I like. For example, I write string v. So this is another variable which will store strings. I will write the string within a single quotation. Whatever stored within these single quotation will be stored in the memory location whose label is string v. So I'm going to write python 3.o. So this string is stored in variable whose name is string v. I can also create another variable which is called boolean. I'm going to write is underscore printed. So this is the name of the boolean variable, and the possible value of this variable could be either true or the value could be false. So I have to write false, or I can write true. Python is case sensitive, so I cannot write true like this way or false like in this shape. So it should always start with a capital letter like in this way. If I have to display the content of this variable, I will just simply type print, and I will write within the parenthesis the name of the variable. Suppose if I write it in this way, I write it in the single quotation, and for the num2 I just simply write directly without single quotation. I can write print string v to display the string, and I can write the print is printed to display the boolean variable. Now I will run the code to see what happens. You can see that the first variable value has not been printed. You can see num1 here. The second variable value, which is 10.4, it has been printed. The third variable, which contains some string, it has been printed. And the fourth variable, which contains a boolean true, it has been also printed. So to print the value of the variable, we must remove the quotation sign. You can see now the value of first variable has also been printed. Now I will show you one example. Is to check for a book named Python in library. Its price is $100. Display whether this book is available in library or not. You need to spend a minute and work this example. Once you are done, come back to my course and see my solution. So in order to solve this, I will just create a variable book name. I will write book underscore name, and I will store the name of the book. The name of the book is Python. I will create another variable. The name of the variable is price, and I am going to save a value within this variable which is 100, and the third variable, which is a boolean variable, I will write is present to see whether this book is available in library or not. Suppose this book is available, I will write true. That's all. Thank you so much. To get input from the user, Python has a built-in function which is known as input. So you will use this input function, and whatever you type on the keyboard, that will be returned by this function. So whatever is returned by this function, you can store that data in a variable. So name is a variable which will store whatever is returned by this input function. Within these brackets, whatever you type in the single quotation, that will be displayed on the terminal here. So enter your name. I have typed this, and when I run this code, you can see that on the terminal enter your name has been displayed. Now whatever I type, it will be stored within this variable name. So I need to write a print function. I will write print name. So when I run the code, The first line of this code has been executed, and the input function needs some text here to be written. I can write whatever I want to write. I'm going to write my name. And the second line of code has just displayed whatever is the content of this variable. I'm going to add some text here. My name is, and I put some space. Now when I run this code, you can see there is an error. I need to put some comma here. So when I run this line of code, you can see my name is Fawad has been displayed. Now I want to get multiple input from the user. So I'm going to create a variable and write input, and I'm going to write some text here. Enter two numbers separated by space. So when I write this text, I'm going to put some space here. Now you can see when I write it, I can just input two values. Now I have added two values, and those two values have been stored as a string in the variable number. Now what I need to do is to split it. So the first number is num1 and the second one is num2. I want to split whatever is the data within the variable number. So I want to split it by a single space, and then I'm going to display the content of num1 and num2. Second number is num2. I'm going to run this code. When I write two values, for example 5 and 6, there is a space between these two numbers, so they will be stored within this variable number as a string, which will be 5 space 6, and this function will split the string on the basis of separator, which is space, and the first number or the first string will be stored with num1 and the second string will be stored in num2, and the print command will display the result. So the first number is 5, second number is 6. So this is all about getting input from the user. In the next lecture, I will teach you some more detail about the Python input function. To get input from the user, Python has a built-in function which is known as input. So you will use this input function, and whatever you type on the keyboard, that will be returned by this function. So whatever is returned by this function, you can store that data in a variable. So name is a variable which will store whatever is returned by this input function. Within these brackets,